Studies show the endowment effect, why your stuff is worth more to you than to anyone else, makes people demand double the price to sell an item they'd only pay half for minutes earlier. Here's the part nobody explains. That gap isn't greed. It isn't bad arithmetic. It's a quiet glitch in how your mind measures worth. And the trigger is almost insulting in its simplicity. You held the thing. That's it. The second an object becomes yours, its value shifts, not on any receipt, only inside your head. You've done this 100 times without noticing. The jacket you'll never wear again, guarded like an heirloom. The car you're selling, worth more to you than to every buyer who shrugs and walks. The old apartment you're leaving, listed a little above what anyone will actually pay. You call your number fair. The world calls it high. You're both staring at the very same object. Only one of you owns it, and that single fact bends the price. Everything after this is about why your mind does it, and what it quietly costs you when you never learn to see it. It's not a flaw in you. It's a feature of everyone, and it's been measured again and again for over 30 years. Start with the ordinary evidence. Look around the room you're in. Somewhere there's a thing you'd never sell for what you'd pay to replace it. A worn tool. A book you haven't opened in years. A gadget already beaten by a newer one. To a stranger, it's clutter with a low ceiling. To you, it carries a number that feels obvious and correct. Ask yourself why. Nothing about the object changed. It didn't get sharper, faster, or rarer while it sat there. The only thing that changed is the word attached to it. Mine. That word does something strange to the math. It adds a premium no market recognizes. Economists assumed people value things by what they are. In reality, we value things by whether we already have them. The same coat is cheap on the rack and precious in your closet. Same threads, same buttons, different owner. And the owner is you. That premium is invisible to everyone but you, which is exactly why it's so hard to catch. You feel it as certainty, not bias. The number just seems right, and rightness is a terrible thing to argue with. So the first move is simple. Notice the feeling of certainty and treat it as a clue, not a verdict. Now, the experiment that proved it. In 1990, 3 researchers ran a study at Cornell: Daniel Kahneman, Jack Netsch, and Richard Thaler. The setup was almost boringly plain. They took a group of students and split them. Half received a simple coffee mug, handed to them, theirs to keep. The other half got nothing but the chance to buy one. Then the researchers asked a single question of each side. Sellers, what's the lowest price you'll accept to give up your mug? Buyers, what's the most you'll pay to get one? Same mug, same room, same minute. No sentimental history. Nobody had owned that mug an hour earlier. It wasn't a gift from a grandparent. It was a plain object from a supply closet. If value lived in the object, both sides should land near the same number. Standard economics practically demanded it. That's not remotely what happened. One detail matters here. The mugs were assigned at random. Pure chance decided who became an owner and who became a buyer. No skill, no choice, no earning. A coin flip, essentially. And yet that random label, owner, reshaped the price in minutes. The numbers were blunt. Sellers wanted a median of about $7.12 to part with the mug. Buyers offered a median of roughly $2.87 for the identical one. Owners demanded nearly double what buyers would pay. And a third group, told simply to choose between the mug or the equivalent cash, valued it at about $3. Notice that. The people who didn't own it, buyers and choosers alike, priced it around 3. The people who owned it for minutes priced it at 7. Then came the strangest result of all. Understanded theory, about half the mugs should have changed hands. Roughly 10% did. The market almost froze. Not because the mug was special, because the owners simply wouldn't let go for what anyone would sensibly pay. Minutes of ownership had doubled the price and killed the trade. Replications followed for decades. Pens, chocolate, tickets, lottery slips, the ratio held. Owners consistently wanting far more than buyers would give. It wasn't a fluke of one classroom. It was a fingerprint of the mind. So why does the mind do this? The answer is a mechanism called loss aversion. Kahneman and Thaler spent careers on it. Here's the core. Losing something hurts more than gaining the same thing feels good. Roughly twice as much, in study after study. Read that again, slowly. The pain of giving up a mug outweighs the pleasure of getting one. So the moment the mug is yours, selling it registers as a loss, and your mind quietly inflates the price to cover the sting. The buyer feels no loss, only a possible gain. So the buyer's number stays low. 2 people, same object, 2 completely different emotional accounts. This is why the seller and buyer never meet. They aren't negotiating over a mug. They're negotiating over a feeling. One is protecting against loss. The other is chasing a modest gain. And loss, in the human mind, almost always shouts louder. You can see it in tiny moments. The seat you sat in first, then defended as yours. The parking spot, the corner of the couch. Ownership arrives fast, and it arrives armed. The buyer, meanwhile, feels nothing to defend, only a small, cool calculation. Want it or keep the cash? That's the whole difference between the two of you. Here's what should unsettle you most. It needed no history at all, no years, no love, no memory soaked into the object. Kahneman described the effect as appearing almost instantly, the moment you're given ownership over a thing. Minutes, seconds of holding. That's the whole dose. So think about what that means for everything you've actually kept for years. If a stranger's mug can double in value in your hands in 5 minutes, what has happened to the things you've owned for a decade? The house, the business you built, the plan you've defended since you were 25. The endowment effect doesn't stop at mugs. It scales, and it hides. The longer you hold something, the more your mind quietly overprices it, and the less you can trust your own sense of what it's really worth to anyone but you. This is the quiet danger. The effect grows in the dark, and it never announces itself. You just wake up one day, certain something is priceless, unable to say when that certainty arrived. And now, the twist most people miss. The mug was never really about mugs. Ownership doesn't only warp the price of objects, it warps the value of ideas, of opinions, of the version of yourself you've decided is true. Once a belief becomes yours, you defend it the way the students clutch their cups. You'll demand enormous evidence to give it up. You'll accept flimsy evidence to keep it. That's the same asymmetry, wearing different clothes. It's why people cling to a failing plan they'd never choose fresh today. Why we stay in the role, the routine, the strategy, long past its worth. Not because it's good, because it's ours. The endowment effect is loss aversion pointed at your own life. And your identity is the most expensive thing you own. You will overprice it every single time. And here's the cruel symmetry. The more central the belief is to who you think you are, the higher the ransom your mind demands to release it. The dearest ideas are the hardest to sell. That's why arguments so rarely change minds. You're not offering a better idea. You're asking someone to book a loss on a piece of themselves. Watch the cost move into real decisions. Someone keeps a business idea years past its life because walking away feels like losing part of themselves. Someone holds on to a possession, a project, a grudge, priced in their head far above what it returns. They aren't being stupid, they're being human, and the wiring is loud. The endowment effect quietly narrows your options. It makes letting go feel like bleeding. So you keep, you store, you defend. Your garage fills, your calendar fills, your mind fills with things you'd never acquire again at today's price, but can't bring yourself to release. Every one of them carries an invisible tax. The space it takes, the attention it eats, the better choice it silently blocks. You think you're protecting value. Often, you're just paying rent on a loss you refuse to book. Multiply that across years. A drawer becomes a room. A habit becomes an identity. And the bill quietly compounds, paid in a currency you never see leaving your account. Possibility. And the tragedy is how normal it feels. Everyone around you is doing the same thing, at the same time, calling it prudence. Now meet the mind that isn't trapped by it. The person who builds lasting stability doesn't feel the effect less. They interrupt it. They've trained one quiet question. Not what is this worth to me because it's mine. Instead, if I didn't already own this, would I choose it today at this price? That single reversal drains the premium. It puts the buyer and the owner in the same body, looking at the same object with the same cold eyes. Suddenly, the failing plan looks like what it is. The clutter looks like clutter. The idea you've defended for years gets weighed on its merits, not on your grip. This is thinking in systems instead of feelings, in time instead of ownership, in repeated, deliberate choices instead of one emotional attachment carried forever. It's not that they're colder. They've simply learned that ownership is a bad accountant. They ask it about everything: the commitment, the relationship to a project, the story they tell about themselves. Nothing gets to keep its price just because it's already theirs. Sit with the uncomfortable part. The endowment effect means your judgment is not neutral about your own life. It can't be. The moment something is yours, your mind starts lying to you gently, in your favor. It tells you your work is worth more than the market says. Your idea is stronger than the pushback suggests. Your possessions are treasures, not weight. And it does this automatically, below awareness, every hour. This is why smart people make strange decisions about their own things. Intelligence doesn't switch the effect off. Only attention does. The seller in that room wasn't foolish. The seller was you, on a normal Tuesday, defending a mug you'd owned for 5 minutes. Now multiply that instinct across a whole life of ownership. The house, the habits, the story of who you are. All of it. Quietly overpriced by the one appraiser you can never fully trust: yourself. The appraiser is warm, confident, and completely on your side. That's what makes it dangerous. A biased judge you trust is far worse than one you suspect. So the goal was never to stop owning. It's to stop letting ownership do your thinking for you. And here's the freedom hiding inside it. If ownership inflates value, then loosening your grip clears your sight. The things you can imagine releasing are the things you finally see clearly. Try it on the small stuff first. The object you've kept for no reason. The plan you outgrew. The opinion you defend out of habit, not truth. Ask what it's really worth to a stranger. Then ask why your number is higher. The gap you find is the exact size of your attachment. That gap isn't value. It's the tax you pay for owning. Once you can measure it, you can choose whether to keep paying. Most people never look. They spend their whole lives confusing what they own with what things are worth. And they wonder why their choices feel so heavy. The weight was never the objects, it was the grip. You don't have to become detached to do this. You only have to become honest about the gap. Curiosity, not coldness. The question does the rest. So here's the one habit that dissolves it. Before you refuse to let something go, a possession, a plan, a belief, run the reversal. Ask yourself a single question, out loud in your own head. If I didn't already own this, what would I pay to have it today? If the answer is far below what you're demanding to release it, you've just found the effect at work. That gap is not the object's value. It's your loss aversion, priced in. You don't have to obey it. You just have to see it. Do this once a week with one thing you're clinging to, and something shifts. You stop confusing ownership with worth. You start deciding like the buyer and the owner at the same time. You don't own your things. Your things own your judgment. Name the grip, and it loosens. Nothing dramatic. No purge, no discipline montage. Just one honest question, asked on purpose, before the grip decides for you. Ownership is loud. Learn to hear it, and you get your judgment back for good. So the next time you set a price on something that's yours, a mug, a house, an idea, a version of who you are, pause on the number. Ask who's really doing the appraising, the world or the owner, because the owner will always charge you double, not in dollars, in grip.